In the final moments before the inevitable descent, pilots grapple with the harrowing realization that their aircraft is no longer under their command. It's a race against time, a battle against fate, as they fight to regain control among the deafening roar of failing systems. In this video, we bear witness to the harrowing last actions that led to some of the most horrific plane crashes in history. Through the chilling recordings of black box cockpit voice recorders, we uncover the stark realities faced by pilots as they grapple with fate in the skies. Join us as we unravel the mysteries behind these tragic events and explore the haunting last words of those who barely faced the ultimate test of human resilience. Alaska Airlines Flight 261, January 31st, 2000, etched in history as the day Alaska Airlines Flight 261 met its tragic end. Bound for Seattle from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with an intermediate stop in San Francisco, the McDonnell Douglas MD-80 descended into chaos just 2.7 miles north of Anacapa Island, California. A catastrophic loss of pitch control led to the inevitable plunge into the Pacific Ocean, claiming the lives of all 88 souls aboard, among them 2 seasoned pilots, Captain Ted Thompson and First Officer William Bill Tensky.
Alaska 261, we are in a dive here. Alaska 261, say again. Vertical pitch. Alaska 261, say again, sir. Yeah, we're at 26,000 feet. We are in a vertical dive. Not a dive yet, but we've lost vertical control of our airplane. Alaska 261, roger. We're at 23.7, request. Yeah, we got it back under control there. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alaska 261, steady altitude you'd like to remain at. 10 Foxtrot, direct oceanside.
Direct oceanside, 10 Fox.
Alaska 552, descend and maintain flight level 240. Descend and maintain flight level 240, Alaska 552. Alaska 261, steady condition. 261, we're at 24,000 feet, kind of stabilized. We're slowing here, and we're going to do a little troubleshooting. Can you give me a block between 20 and 25? Alaska 261, maintain block altitude by level 200 through by level 250. Alaska 261, we'll take that block, we'll be monitoring for you.
As far as we know right now, he doesn't have any intent to go below 17,000, but keep your eye on him, okay?
Will do, Delta 6.
Thanks.
Hi, dear Delta 6. That plane has just started to do a big, huge plunge.
A big, huge plunge. Thank you. Skywest 5154. The MD-80 is one becoming about 2 o'clock, about 10 miles now. Another pilot reports he's really looking pretty bad. They're heading to your right. Do you see him?
Yes, sir. I concur. He is definitely in a nose-down position, descending quite rapidly.
Okay, very good. Keep your eye on him. Alaska 261, are you here with us yet, sir?
Yeah, he's inverted.
Okay. Just do what you need to do there, Skywest 5154. Keep us advised.
And he just hit the water. Yes, sir. He hit the water. He's down.
Okay.
And for position, I'm right abeam of 50 Delta X-ray.
Yeah, he just now hit it. We have the spot marked right here. Thanks, guys.
As the aircraft hurtled towards its fate, the cockpit voice recorder captured the frantic attempts of the crew to regain control. The sounds of failing systems echoed among the chaos as the pilots fought against the inevitable. Despite their valiant efforts, the aircraft entered a second dive. With the CVR documenting the last moments of desperation, the chilling transcript reveals a harrowing struggle for survival as the crew attempted daring maneuvers in a bid to save the doomed flight. But sadly, destiny had already decided their fate. Around 4:21 p.m. UTC, Flight 261 crashed into the harsh waters between Port Hueneme, California and Anacapa Island, breaking apart the plane and taking the lives of everyone on board. Swissair Flight 111, September 2nd, 1998, marked the beginning of a routine transatlantic journey for Swissair Flight 111, a McDonnell Douglas MD-11 departing from New York City's bustling JFK airport en route to the serene shores of Geneva, Switzerland. The passengers and crew on flight HBIWF had no idea that their trip would soon turn into a really big and scary problem. As the sun dipped below the horizon explosion and the aircraft pierced through the clouds. The tranquility of the Atlantic Ocean masked the imminent tragedy that awaited. The MD-11, a marvel of modern engineering, soared through the night sky, its fuselage carrying the hopes and dreams of 229 souls bound for distant shores. However, as the flight went on, some worrying things started to happen. When they were flying over the calm waters of Yarmouth, there was a strange smell in the cockpit. This was a sign of the trouble that was about to happen. The flight crew, who were experienced pilots used to flying accurately, noticed that there was a smoke coming from the air conditioning system. Feeling the need to act fast, the pilots quickly told air traffic control about the problem and started following the right steps to deal with it. But even though they tried their hardest to figure out what was wrong, the smoke kept getting worse, making the cockpit feel very uncertain. As time passed, the crew realized that their plane was quickly turning into a big fire. With things going wrong and not many choices left, the crew made a tough decision to call for urgent help, hoping someone would come to save them from the approaching disaster. In the end, with the moon shining on the water, Swissair Flight 111 crashed into the sea at a speed of 345 miles per hour.
Swissair 111, roger. I turn right to proceed. You say to Boston you want to go?
I guess we need first the weather, so we start the right turn here, Swissair 111 heavy.
Swissair 111, roger, and descent to flight level 310, is that okay? Swissair 111 center.
Swissair 111 heavy, go ahead.
Would you prefer to go into Halifax?
Stand by. Virgin 12 will be standing by.
Virgin 12, roger, stand by.
You will be staying within about 35-40 miles of the airport if you have to get to the airport in a hurry.
Okay, that's fine for us. Please tell me when we can start to dump the fuel.
Okay.
Just get off radar.
Yeah, 237. The bearing off Halifax View are 39.7 miles, which makes it just down in St. Margaret's Bay.
Okay. And you're not talking to him anymore?
No, we're not talking to him and we don't see him. He was dumping fuel last we heard.
It disappeared under the waves with a lot of broken pieces and lost hopes. The place where it crashed, near the quiet shores of St. Margaret's Bay, became a sad reminder of how dangerous flying can be. Korean Air Flight 801, August 6, 1997. Something very sad happened in the world of planes. Korean Air Flight 801 took off from Seoul's busy Gimpo International Airport heading for Guam, but instead of a normal journey, something terrible happened that caused chaos and destruction. As the big airplane, a Boeing 747-300, flew high in the dark sky, 254 people on board had hopes and dreams, but they didn't know something very sad was going to happen, and the peaceful island of Guam would soon become a place of great sadness and loss. In charge of Flight 801 was Captain Park Young-shul, who had flown planes for a long time, almost 9,000 hours, along with the first officer Song Young-hoo and flight engineer Nam Suk-hoon, who were also experienced and responsible for keeping everyone safe on the plane.
801. Screener 801 Guam. No.
You checked in with me, I cleared him to land. I don't know where he's at. Never did have him in sight.
You never saw him?
Negative.
He didn't land?
Negative.
My God.
Stand by a second. I don't have him. He called me once. I cleared him to land, told him not in sight. I don't have him.
Well, he must have crashed then.
As the aircraft descended towards its destination among the darkness and torrential rain, Captain Park grappled with the challenges of poor visibility and malfunctioning navigation equipment. Despite the warnings from his crew, he pressed on, believing the runway was within reach. Sadly, Flight 801 didn't reach the runway safely. Early on August 6th, it crashed into Bijia Peak, not far from where it was supposed to land. Only 25 people survived out of everyone on board. One survival He and Sang Hong shared the terrifying experience of the crash. United Airlines Flight 232. In the summer of America's heartland, a tragedy unfolded that tested people's strength like never before. It was July 19, 1989, when United Airlines Flight 232 took off from Denver's Stapleton International Airport heading for Chicago, but the passengers and crew had no idea their ordinary flight would become a part of aviation history for reasons they never expected. High above the vast expanse of the Midwestern landscape, the McDonnell Douglas DC-10 soared through the clouds with 296 souls aboard. Among them were families, friends, and fellow travelers, each with their own hopes and dreams for the journey ahead. But fate, as it often does, had other plans in store. Piloting the plane was Captain Alfred C. Elhines, a skilled aviator whose long career made everyone feel safe. He was joined by First Officer William R. Bell Records and Flight Engineer Dudley G. Dvorak, forming a strong team responsible for keeping everyone safe. Among the passengers was Dennis E. Denny Fitch, an experienced pilot who would soon face a huge challenge. As Flight 232 approached Sioux Getaway Airport, disaster struck with unimaginable force. A catastrophic failure of the tail-mounted engine sent shockwaves rippling through the aircraft, severing vital flight controls and plunging the crew into a desperate struggle for survival. With the odds stacked against them and time running out, the crew faced an impossible choice: to land the crippled aircraft against all odds or succumb to the forces of fate. Captain Haynes and his team showed incredible bravery and resolve as they steered Flight 232 towards the runway. They fought with all their strength to keep control, their voices offering hope in the midst of chaos. After the crash, despite the wreckage and fire, 184 people survived, showing the incredible strength of the human spirit. Japan Airlines Flight 123. Japan Airlines Flight 123 remains etched in history as one of the most tragic aviation disasters to have ever occurred, as the Boeing 747 embarked on its routine journey from Tokyo to Osaka on that fateful day of August 12, 1985. The unsuspecting passengers aboard could never have foreseen the horror that awaited them. Amidst the hustle and bustle of Tokyo's Haneda Airport, Flight 123 stood ready to whisk its passengers away on what should have been a routine domestic flight. Little did they know that the aircraft carried with a fatal flaw that would spell doom for all on board. As the flight ascended into the skies above Japan, tragedy struck just 12 minutes into the journey. A catastrophic structural failure and rapid decompression tore through the aircraft, setting in motion a chain of events that would culminate in unimaginable devastation. Despite the valiant efforts of the crew to maintain control, the fate of the Flight 123 had already been sealed. On board were Captain Masami Takahama, First Officer Yutaka Sasaki, and First Engineer Hiroshi Fukuda, experienced pilots responsible for everyone's safety. They tried their best against tough challenges, but fate was unkind, and there was no way out. For 32 harrowing minutes, Flight 123 struggled to stay aloft, its fate hanging in the balance as the crew battled to keep the crippled aircraft airborne. But as the second ticked by, hope faded into despair, and the inevitable became reality. With a deafening roar, the Boeing 747 plunged into the unforgiving terrain of Mount Tagamakahara, leaving behind a tale of destruction and heartbreak. In the wildlands of Gunma Prefecture, the broken pieces of Flight 123 silently showed how big the tragedy was. The busy airplane was now destroyed, its broken parts reminding us how fragile life is and how fate doesn't choose who it affects. Delta Airlines Flight 1141. Delta Airlines Flight 1141 stands as a tragic reminder of the unpredictability of air travel, where even routine flights can turn into nightmares in the blink of an eye. On that fateful day of August 31st, 1988, what began as a routine journey from Dallas to Salt Lake City quickly descended into chaos and tragedy as passengers settled into their seats aboard Delta Airlines Flight 1141. Little did they know that their lives were about to be forever changed. The Boeing 727, a symbol of modern aviation prowess, stood ready to ferry its precious cargo to their destination, but fate had other plans in store. With Captain Larry Lon Davis at the helm, alongside First Officer Kerry Wilson Kirkland and Flight Engineer Stephen Mark Judd, the experienced crew embarked on their duties with diligence and professionalism, but amidst the routine protocols and pre-flight checks, an unforeseen tragedy lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. As Flight 1141 taxied down the runway at Dallas International Airport, all seemed normal. The aircraft, powered by its Pratt & Whitney turbofan engines, prepared to take flight into the boundless skies above. But in a cruel twist of fate, disaster struck just moments after liftoff. The airplane shook violently as it tried to climb higher, tipping dangerously to the right. The crew bravely tried to steady it, but couldn't. The Boeing 727, in the midst of chaos, veered off the runway, causing destruction as it crashed in flames. Amidst the smoke and flames, the true extent of the tragedy became painfully clear. Lives were lost, families shattered, and dreams extinguished in an instant. The brave efforts of the flight crew and emergency responders were not enough to stem the tide of devastation that engulfed Flight 1141 on that fateful day, El Flight 1862. The tragic events of October 4th, 1992 forever etched the name of El Flight 1862 into the annals of aviation history as one of the darkest chapters in the industry, as the Boeing 747 cargo aircraft prepared for its routine journey from Amsterdam to Tel Aviv. Few could have foreseen the catastrophe that lay ahead. Amidst the hustle and bustle of Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport, El Flight 1862 stood ready for departure, its massive frame laden with cargo and dreams of distant destinations. Little did the crew or passengers know that the fate had other plans in store. With Captain Yitzhak Fuchs, First Officer Arnon Ohad, and Flight Engineer Gedalia Sofer at the helm, the experienced crew embarked on their journey with the utmost professionalism and dedication. But as the aircraft roared to life and ascended into the skies above, a series of ominous events began to unfold. As Flight 1862 soared over the Bijlmermeer neighborhood of Amsterdam, tragedy struck with terrifying swiftness and force. Without warning, the Boeing 747 nosedived from the sky, hurtling towards the earth below with devastating consequences. The crash was really bad. The plane smashed into the Groeneveen and Klein-Kreutberg flats, causing a huge fireball. Buildings broke apart, people died, and the whole neighborhood felt sad and hopeless. In the aftermath of the crash, a community united in grief and solidarity as firefighters, paramedics, and volunteers worked tirelessly to aid the injured and comfort the bereaved. Amidst the devastation, stories of heroism and resilience emerged, reminding us of the indomitable human spirit in the face of adversity.
Heeft geen zin, hij is geknipt.
Heb je hem gezien?
Eén grote rookmolot over de stad.
Jezus, net bij Whisky Papa inside.
Bij Whisky Papa.
1 mijl west van Whisky Papa.
Eenmaal west van deze, zei je, Henk?
1 mijl west van Whisky Papa, ja.
Pacific Southwest Airlines Flight 182. The story of Pacific Southwest Airlines Flight 182 is one of tragedy and loss, forever etched into the history of aviation as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of a single moment's error. On the morning of September 25, 1978, Pacific Southwest Airlines Flight 182 embarked on a routine journey from Sacramento Orlando to Los Angeles and San Diego, with Captain James E. McFerrin and his seasoned crew at the helm. The Boeing 727-214 soared into the clear California skies, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of its passengers. But as the flight neared its destination in San Diego, tragedy struck with unimaginable swiftness and ferocity. Unbeknownst to the crew, a small Cessna 172 aircraft piloted by Martin Casey Jr. and David Boswell was on a collision course with destiny. Despite the efforts of air traffic controllers and the vigilance of the PSA crew, the fateful moment arrived when the two aircraft converged in the crowded skies over San Diego. In a matter of seconds, Flight 182 and the Cessna became entangled in a deadly dance, sealing the fate of all on board.
PSA 182 Lindbergh Tower. Traffic 12 o'clock, 1 mile assessment.
The time will be 9.
After the crash, everyone in the community came together to help the families of the victims and remember the people who died. As things calmed down and people saw how bad it was, the whole country felt sad about losing so many lives all at once. ValueJet Flight 592. The tragic story of ValueJet Flight 592 serves as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences that can arise from a combination of errors, oversights, and unfortunate circumstances. On May 11, 1996, ValueJet Flight 592, a McDonnell Douglas DC-9, departed from Miami en route to Atlanta. On board were 105 passengers and a crew of 2 pilots and 3 flight attendants, embarking on what was supposed to be a routine journey. But soon after the plane took off, something terrible happened. Smoke started filling the inside of the plane, showing that there was a fire below in the storage area. Things got worse really fast, and the crew had to fight really hard to try to control the plane and save everyone on it. The investigation revealed a series of troubling factors that contributed to the crash of Flight 592, from the mislabeling and improper storage of hazardous cargo to the inadequate training and procedures for handling in-flight emergencies. There were multiple failures that ultimately led to this tragic outcome. The crash site, located in the unforgiving terrain of the Everglades, presented significant challenges for search and rescue teams.
Critter 592, you can turn left heading 100 and join the runway 12 localizer at Miami. Critter 592, descend and maintain 3000. American 1462, turn off heading 360, climb and maintain 7000. 360, 7000, American 1462. Critter 592, Opelok Airport's about 12 o'clock and 15 miles. American 1462. Eagle Flight 809, centers on 135.17 today. Okay, 3517. How did Critter make out?
Aeroperu Flight 603. The tragedy of Aeroperu Flight 603 serves as a poignant reminder of the critical importance of ensuring the proper functioning of aircraft instruments and systems, as well as effective communication between pilots and air traffic controllers. On October 2, 1996, Aeroperu Flight 603, a Boeing 757-23A, embarked on its final leg from Lima, Peru to Santiago, Chile. Little did the crew and passengers know that this routine journey would end in tragedy. As the aircraft climbed into the night sky, the pilots encountered a series of alarming malfunctions with their flight instruments. Erroneous altitude and airspeed readings, coupled with conflicting emergency messages, plunged the cockpit into chaos and confusion. The investigation revealed a catastrophic failure stemming from a simple yet critical oversight. The failure to remove tape covering the pilot static system ports led to inaccurate airspeed and altitude readings, leaving the pilots disoriented and unable to effectively control the aircraft.
No puedes. A ver, cambia todo tu ¿Cómo puede estar volando con esta velocidad si estamos bajando con todo el poder cortado?
Informa altura, por favor, porque tenemos el claim que no...
Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
según la
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
¿Cuál es la altura que indica el avión? Tiene alguna
terrain. Too low 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 terrain.
¿Qué hacemos con el tren? No sabes qué ven. Estamos impactando en agua. Dale, perdida.
Too low terrain. 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 Too low terrain.
Nos vamos a invertir.
Despite their best efforts to communicate with air traffic controllers and troubleshoot the problems, the crew was unable to prevent disaster. With no visual references over the dark expanse of water, the aircraft clipped the surface, causing catastrophic damage to the left wing. In the final moments, the crew fought violently to keep the aircraft aloft, but their efforts were in vain. Aeroperu Flight 603 plummeted into the ocean, claiming the lives of all 17 people on board. As we conclude our journey through these tragic aviation events, let us not forget the invaluable lessons they impact. Each story is a testament to the fragility of a human life and the importance of vigilance, preparation, and continuous improvement in the realm of aviation safety. Thank you for joining us on this journey of remembrance and reflection. May we never forget the lives lost and the lessons gained from these events. Subscribe and turn your notifications on to stay updated on future content as we continue to explore and learn from the stories.